broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey there, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans! Welcome to another edition of the AfterBuzz Recap Show. How are we all feeling tonight?
We're feeling fine. We're feeling warm.
So many feels.
There's a lot of feelings going on.
I went on a mental roller coaster tonight.
Yeah.
In 1 hour, I went through so many different feels.
So many feelings. Well, for those of you watching, you can see that we have our AfterBuzz mugs. What you probably can't see is that they're filled with hot chocolate.
And for good reason.
Because we're sad.
We just want to feel comfortable.
We needed cocoa.
We did. After this episode, for the first time all season, we needed cocoa.
We did need cocoa.
Let's go ahead. Before we get started, if you guys haven't already done so, please subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to us on iTunes. It really means the world to us. When you rate and leave a comment, we love hearing from you guys. It means the world to us and to the people behind the scenes. Let me go ahead and introduce my fantastic panel, because we will all be keeping an eye on Twitter as well as the live chat that's on YouTube, since we're streaming live. Use the hashtag ABTVShield. To my left, Jesse Klein.
Hey, how's it going? You can find me at JessKlein1. That's JESS, the KLEIN, the number 1. I don't know how to process this last episode.
It's okay.
I just want to go out there and give all those moms hugs.
Aww.
Just want to give a lot of moms hugs. Every mom's a hug.
Zach Wilson.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter at @ZachWilson, ThatZachWilson. This is such a just kudos on the directing and the writing in this
so
episode,
well directed.
because so many emotions.
Yeah, everything tied in so perfectly together. We can talk about it. You can talk to me on Twitter about it at JAJOURI, and I'm Joyce.
Hey guys. And I'm Megan. You can tweet at me directly at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin.
Just let it out.
Okay, guys, let's just go ahead and dive right into the thing that we're all crying about, and that is what happened in Bahrain 7 years ago. Because we got the story last season, partway through last season, with May and why she's called the Cavalry, and what sort of happened to her 7 years ago that made her change, that made her into the woman that she is today, to the agent that she is today. But we didn't get the whole story.
Yeah.
Now we have the whole story, and I just want to go and cry into a pillow for the rest of the night. I don't know about you guys.
Now I
man.
understand why she cringes when she's considered the cavalry.
Yeah.
It's
It's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing to
No.
her, and she doesn't deserve, or maybe to her, she doesn't deserve that title.
Well,
Because of what actually went down.
And it also explains why the story itself kept changing, why it was kind of a local legend among S.H.I.E.L.D. agents about how she took out 30 guys. No, I only heard it was 15.
Or like a powered person. Or,
Yeah.
It's because literally nobody there knew what happened, because they were all warped.
Yeah, they're all mind
And
controlled.
May clearly wasn't talking about it.
Yeah, did she ever even confide in Coulson that she was the one that killed the little girl? Because when she walked out of the building, she was just saying over and over
couldn't
again that
save
she
it.
couldn't save her. That has a very different connotation than I had to stop her.
I'm going to go with Coulson has no idea.
I think to May, they both mean the same thing.
Yeah, of course to her they mean the same thing, but to somebody who wasn't there?
I don't know if it's deceit on purpose for May. I think it might be that because she couldn't save her from herself, she couldn't save her at all. Like, so I don't know if it's specifically that, but I don't know if Coulson knows that May pulled the trigger.
Yeah, because a good portion of this episode was May uncovering lots and lots of secrets that Coulson had been keeping, not only from her, but from the rest of the team. And then we come to find out at the end of this episode, he might not know that she was the one that killed that little girl, that it was the little girl that had the power and not her mother.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting. There were a lot of parallels in this episode. It was
so great.
It was a real mom themed episode, and it was also like, we were talking about the direction, just the way that May's story also kind of tied into Skye's story, kind of tied into what was going on back with like Simmons
and Raina.
Yeah, and present day May, like all of it kind of tied in really well. The direction was super on point today.
And the fact that we get looped back in with her ex-husband, who's still involved.
Yeah.
Who apparently had been
Very
involved for a
much.
long time. Yeah, it was all really interesting. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
We have a shout out on Twitter from Saul Perez. He says, I still want to see Fitzsimmons' version of what May's backstory is. I guarantee you it would probably make us cry a lot less than what actually happened.
It would be the cutest account of like a horrendous fight ever.
Wait, what part of their backstory? Like when they met?
Oh no, their version of what May's
May did
backstory
to
is. What she
cavalry.
did.
Burn the cavalry. I would assume it would involve a horse.
It would be so wholesome and fun.
Oh, it's like May. It's like May riding in on a horse, but not like on the horse. Like she's standing
Surfing the
on
horse.
the horse.
Yeah, she's surfing that
the horse
With her hair blowing in the wind.
She jumps off as she goes down. She takes out 4 guys, like 2 with each leg.
With
Turns
her
out that
fingernails.
that horse is an Inhuman. Turns into a sweet door.
Oh, that
I
poor
want
heart.
this to be animated somehow.
If any of you guys
someone do it?
If any of you fans out there, nothing brings me personally more joy than getting actual AfterBuzz TV fan art of things that happen on AfterBuzz panels. We get it for the Ruby panel every now and again, so I would love to get it if we got it
I
for the
want to see
S.H.I.E.L.D. panel.
May surfing a horse. That is my dream, you guys.
2 guns in hand, jumps off to roundhouse kick another horse.
It's
That's
that
also an
amazing
Inhuman.
picture of Fury. He's like riding a hover motorcycle. He's got a cigar in one hand and a gun in the other, and he's like shooting at 4 guys. It's an amazing
Why the other hand? I want him to have a gun and a cigar in the same
hand. Yeah, that's true.
And like being on that vehicle, his eye patch is just like floating off, but then he captures it in his mouth and just like rides epically.
Or it's just like mounted to the gun. Like he just has the gun. And
That makes sense. Yeah.
all right. Probably should talk about S.H.I.E.L.D.
We should probably move
Get
on.
back into
before
S.H.I.E.L.D.
We were talking about S.H.I.E.L.D.
But what I really enjoyed about this particular part of the story is I love how genuinely scary it was. I know that it's no secret to anybody here at AfterBuzz that I love scary movies, and there is nothing creepier in this episode than a little girl with superpowers who cannot control them and who has gone insane.
And he says, "I want your pain."
Yeah, and also I need a new mommy.
Yeah.
That too. Pretty
Oh my god.
I really like the swerve they did on that, because I was like, oh, she's controlling people's minds. I thought the mom was. I thought Eva was controlling people's minds, and so when May took Eva out, I was like, wow, they really avoided having the little girl say, "I want your pain," and I was like, oh no, they didn't. No.
It was a slow burn.
Yeah.
They were building
Yeah,
up
they
to
really
it.
swerved me.
When they reveal like the mom has like the crazy strength powers, like,
Yeah.
At that point, like when they introduced the mind control, I'm like, that's too many powers.
That's
like,
too many powers.
Yeah.
Like this, like you can't have super strength and mind control.
Well, and if you look at the way she was talking to, it makes complete and total sense that she was being controlled like a puppet.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's what the other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents were. That's how they were acting too. And they were trying to fling May around like that. And it was just the mom that was able to actually knock her across the floor.
it was a well-designed misdirect.
Yeah, it was really cool. Also, I mean, they made that lot look like Bahrain pretty well. Like I thought it was like a cool kind of. You don't really see that type of landscape in the show, so it's kind of like a cool little like let's take a little trip.
No, I think I mentioned it earlier in the episode that May's portion of the episode reminded me a lot of like the Bourne Identity movies.
Yeah.
If the camera would hold still for 2 seconds in those movies, that drove me crazy. Those movies give me such a headache. So it was nice to actually have the camera actually still while the action's going on.
Oh yeah, when May parkoured her way into that building and then took that one guy, like saw the guy go through the window and was just like, excuse me, and just grabbed him and brought him outside. I was like, this is awesome.
And I thought she was just gonna like chokehold him and like knock him out. No,
snapped his neck.
She straight up killed him.
Yeah, that dude died. That poor mind-controlled dude died.
He buried it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea.
And then the little girl, she killed like a bunch of people.
Yeah, just at the very end of the episode.
I would not want to play Duck Duck Goose with that girl. That's for sure.
She wins every time.
How long have you been sitting on that one-liner?
I just thought of it right now. I swear to you.
I mean, she just.
Are you writing those down while we're watching the episode?
You can read my notes, Zach. No, but actually, I was thinking when she was running around and like tagging all the guys, looked like she was playing.
Yeah.
I thought just tag, and then right now I was like, wait, Duck Duck Goose would be very dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, she just wins, right? Like, you just don't touch her ever, so she never gets goosed.
Yeah, no.
She's always a maverick.
Yeah. Always a maverick.
No, none of those are good. Oh man, but yeah, this entire thing, and it's just so tragic because not only did this completely change her career at S.H.I.E.L.D., it also ruined her marriage.
Yeah.
And she carries that with her even still, and it'll never go away. It's got to be something that she lives with for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that her story began with a shower, and it was like a good shower, and then it ended with a very bad shower.
That did not cleanse her at all.
An attempt at cleaning, but did not feel good. I thought that was well done.
It opens on an awesome shower. Like, it opens and you're like, shower scene, nice. And then like the guy comes in, you're like, whoa. And then her husband, you're like, still whoa. A little less whoa, but
It's pretty hot.
But you're right.
Like, get it, May.
Yeah.
But it's great because it's also a solid like bookend. It's a well-designed bookend from a writing and directing perspective.
No, you're absolutely right. This episode was filled with parallels, and May is kind of like the central focus of that because there are parallels in terms of her story in the present day compared to the past, and with even Skye's story, there's a parallel. It all tied in together with this little girl and her mother being Inhumans, and that this whole thing, the entirety of May's life, like her whole trajectory, was altered because this woman decided to forego the rules, which is what the Inhuman Society is currently based on right now. They chose to break the rules, and it cost May her entire future.
Yeah.
And I also think it's safe to assume this is May's first direct encounter with someone with a power at all. And when she met the girl and the girl was coming towards her, she's like, I can fix you. And that reminded me of how hesitant she was when she found out Skye had powers. So that encounter led her to be just threatened by enhanced people, for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And now it makes sense why she was like a little, like she still wanted to help Skye, but she was hesitant.
Yeah.
And she probably
she's like, I don't know how to deal with this.
her.
Because if you can't save a little girl, how do you save your friend? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, so many feels, you guys.
So heavy.
Since we're talking about, is there anything else on at least 7 years ago about Bahrain that you guys want to touch on before we move on to Skye and Jiaying?
I guess just real quick, when we saw that Maria Hill transferred May to level 3, that kind of shows us how badass and kind of merciless and relentless Maria Hill can be.
Sure.
Well, it was a request. It wasn't that.
Yeah, she put in a request.
Oh, she requested it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Maria Hill issued it.
No, it was
My
a request for a transfer. After what happened, May didn't want to be in the field.
She doesn't want to be a field
that
agent.
totally scratched my thought. I thought she was actually being forced to transfer.
It was a kind kind of one of those blink and you miss it things. 'Cause
Yeah.
all it was
Did
is
it say
had-
request?
They had a close up of the document that
My
was
bad.
like, your request for transfer has been accepted.
I was too busy trying to read the smaller text.
Yeah.
I was like, Maria Hill, wait, oh, what?
Well, no, I didn't notice that it had been signed off by Maria Hill, so that's actually a good thing to notice. But yeah, no, this was something this was May's choice. It was always May's choice to go and be a cubicle worker and instead of a field agent, and it was only having to keep an eye on Phil that brought her out of the
it,
field.
yeah.
It was Fury's request for her to do so.
Which makes us understand her need to protect him and her attachment to him.
Exactly. But, go ahead.
Just a real quick thing. I really enjoyed the Coulson beat where he's deciding whether it's going to be nuclear or bioweapons. He's like, bioweapons always scare him.
It was because it was interesting because it was a little bit of the old Phil Coulson.
Yeah.
Because we've seen him grow, and he's always Phil Coulson. He's always going to be Coulson. But but when I watched him in this, it was very much a. It reminded me of him in Thor,
Sure.
where he's like, I don't know, that Stark guy doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
Or if you guys ever saw the short on the way that was included on the Thor DVD,
Yeah.
where he stops at a gas station. That one too.
oh, man.
Yeah, it's such a fun short.
That's one of the best Coulson moments ever. Because, like, at the time, he was just, like, a guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly, and that's the first time we really see him in action. And so seeing this, it reminded me of where Coulson started in the Avengers franchise.
Yeah.
Yep, that was just my only thought. Any other thoughts before we move on to the Inhumans?
Yeah, I mean, I have some big thoughts on Coulson once we get to New S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
New S.H.I.E.L.D. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about Skye and Jiaying because we were just talking about the Inhumans and how that tied into May's storyline. So the big thing in this episode is that Jiaying is training Skye and training her how to use her frequency powers. It's not just earthquake stuff; it's straight up frequency. And they cause an avalanche, do some mother-daughter bonding, and oh yeah, Jiaying is her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that before she revealed that she was her mother, she was asking all these mom questions. She was like, so, do you have any friends back at S.H.I.E.L.D.? And she was like, oh, were they nice to you? I believe she even said, were they nice to you? And it was like Skye just came back from summer camp or something like
Did
that.
you have fun at camp, sweetie?
Yeah.
At S.H.I.E.L.D.
So
camp?
funny.
Yeah.
I mean, even her responses, there was like a little bit of like a little child in there. It's like, I moved a mountain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. I saw it. I'm
look at-
so proud of you.
Look at me, Mom, I moved a mountain. Look how high I moved
Proud
this
of your
mountain.
work today, sweetheart. Let me hang this up on the fridge.
It's just an avalanche on a fridge.
But in all seriousness, we're laughing and cracking up about it. But when we actually do get to Jiaying admitting that she is Skye's mother, because it was something she was keeping from her at
Yeah.
first, I think we all broke down a little bit. I think.
I teared up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
No, kudos on the acting chops in this episode because we are emotional messes right now. So kudos to the performances.
Yeah, it's like a dead face.
Whatever, man.
Jesse,
I don't even
emotions
know.
are good.
No, they're
Emotions
not.
are good.
No,
Let it out, man.
seal it off.
Let it out.
Turtle up. Don't let any emotions get through.
Just push those feelings deep down and just keep smiling.
No,
Big man, don't cry.
What I loved about that scene was that they really did it was the minimal amount of dialogue. Like most of what was emotional in that scene was the close-ups of Skye, and just pulling in on her face and like letting us just feel from her perspective.
And also, like Jiaying said, deep down, Skye knew. Like, she had a feeling this was her mom. So her getting that confirmed in front of our eyes was huge. Just that validation. Chloe Bennett did a really good job portraying that shock, essentially.
Well, even the line itself, it wasn't "I'm your mom." It was July 2nd, which I think is like much more powerful because Skye has to put that math together, where she realizes that oh she knows my birthday, she's my mom.
Yeah.
And so
She's
like
only training
we got
me.
to see her go through that internally as we were feeling it while we were watching it. And I think that made it a much more powerful moment than just being like, I'm your mom.
Well,
and then it was like, what? And then we're like, oh, we've seen this before.
It was preceded by a moment where Skye was having a little bit of a flashback because she breaks the glasses during their training exercise.
Which was so cool.
Yeah, that was so great.
If we can talk about that resonance exercise, that was super cool.
Together they will win the Miss Congeniality Talent Contest.
Well, it's a great thing because a lot of times with these crazy superpowers, there's a million different. If you really break it down to like the bare bones of what the power is, what can you do with vibrations? Like an earthquake power is like too specific. It doesn't fit in the MCU because it's like, what causes an earthquake? Big frequencies. Well, what if she can control frequencies? What does that mean?
Yeah,
it means she can explode trees and do all sorts of cool stuff.
So she basically can make anything vibrate. So she could like change the strength of like. Probably somebody's like drums. Like, oh yeah, she could just like make drums go off and.
Well, yeah. They kind of hit at it that everything has a resonant frequency, and so she can tap into that, and I kind of like the way they explained it, where she can like hear or like hear the things speaking. When she's like, "Can you hear the rock?" And she's like, "I can't hear this rock because that mountain's too loud out there."
She could change the pitch of our voice.
She could.
Oh, she makes all sound like Oompa Loompas.
She could make it seem like I'm not actually talking on the phone with you.
She could probably make Christian Bale actually sound like Batman. It could happen. I know that's a big zinger, yeah.
Yeah.
Because nobody's ever made fun of that before.
Christian Bale, you're on notice.
Burn. Anyway.
S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast put you on notice. But I thought that was really well handled. Like, as far as like, because it could have been really sappy. Like, it could have been really sappy and kind of corny, and like she could be like, "Mommy," and then like gone and like, "Where were you all this time?" But it wasn't even like she was angry or anything like that. It was just like this kind of shock joy mix.
Maybe a little bit of relief too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, we were talking about this when we were watching, how she wasn't just like, like Jiaying said, she's like, I want to hug you right off the bat and run to you, but I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't write it that way. I mean, obviously there's a good reason for it, but it could have been sappy in the moment that she realized that Jiaying was her mom.
And also getting that backstory for Skye, we kind of knew it already, but how she never stayed anywhere more than 2 years, and like she doesn't really have a sense of home, and that S.H.I.E.L.D. was the closest thing she ever had as a family, and
now because she doesn't know what happened, she doesn't even know if she can consider S.H.I.E.L.D. her family anymore.
Yeah. Well, what I love is that they give this character what she wanted, but you still manage to take it away at the same time.
Yeah.
She's too close and too far.
Yeah, this is something that Marvel does throughout their properties, and it's what makes their stuff stronger. It's not just like, we give you all the power and go save the day. It's, you have this power, and that power is not, or this good thing, but that good thing is also going to cause lots of problems.
Yeah.
It's never too convenient for any of the characters.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm the first one saying this, but with great power comes great responsibility, and I think they really kind of touched on that.
Well, and it's not just power; it's taking the step to do the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that always comes at a cost.
Yeah. But in this case, it's not even about responsibility or doing the right thing. It's just like, Skye, what has Skye wanted more than anything on the planet? And that's
her
family. She wants a family, and she got it. She got her mom and dad, but she's not allowed to tell anybody.
Yeah,
she's not allowed to tell anybody, and it was at the cost of the family that she had, because now they're all separated, and again, she doesn't know why S.H.I.E.L.D. was going after her.
Half of them think she's like evil or dangerous.
Yeah. Also, her family, her actual family consists of a woman who was pieced back together. Good call on that, Zach. And then a guy, and then a homicidal maniac sometimes.
He was on his best behavior today.
Yeah, he was, but so like even though she has the thing that she's always wanted, and having like a family and a support system is a power like that, especially for Skye. Like that is more powerful for her than her like vibration powers. I think that's what she's getting more out of this than like being able to move a mountain, is that she now has this backup. So I think she's getting that, but she's also losing a whole bunch as well at the same time.
She has Wolverine with no claws for mom, and Hulk light for her dad.
Well, and it's sad too because if anybody finds out the truth, she's not safe there either. Because her mom is. We find out in this episode she's the one in charge, but because of this incident that happened years ago, if anybody finds out that she and her mother are related, that's going to be huge. That's going to be a huge problem, not only for her but for her mother. Like her mother's authority is going to be called into question, and people are probably going to be gunning after Skye, and there's going to be all this talk of favoritism and breaking the rules.
Well, specifically maternal favoritism is scary for them, which is like a really interesting thing I've never really seen in a show or anything like that, where it's like a community that is specifically scared of maternal favoritism.
Which is so interesting because it's so integral to the transition process. Like what do they do when people transform? They hug them and tell them it's going to be okay and that they're beautiful. That's what mom does.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I wonder if this will cause some sort of like resentment towards May on Skye's part. Because it's kind of just, that whole event.
I don't think so.
Led up to that. Led up to how it is now.
I don't think that Skye's going to feel resentment towards May. I think now, she actually is probably the only one that knows the truth now.
And really understands May.
Yeah, it probably clicked a lot of things into place for Skye. Be like, oh, that's why May is the way she is. She had to kill this child who went insane and was killing people. And doing all sorts of other things.
Yeah, if that doesn't screw you up, then there's something really wrong with you.
If you can just sort of shake that off, no big deal. I don't think I want to know you.
And to think her psychologist husband couldn't do anything to sort of ease her mind or make her feel like she's not crazy.
Well, she was taking the Jessie approach in the let's bottle those feelings up and push them
right?
Oh, you mean the best approach? The best approach?
I beg to differ.
Oh, no, there's a tumor building somewhere, but...
This is interesting that the chat roll is discussing, and I don't know where they're claiming this is like accurate. The most mild Daredevil information that's not really a spoiler, but like if you're super sensitive to that, skip ahead 30 seconds.
Spoiler alert.
Because Daredevil isn't Matt Murdock is an orphan.
Yes,
that's all that the spoiler would be. So they're saying that Skye is from the same orphanage, or was in the same orphanage as Matt Murdock.
Oh, that's a nice little tie.
I love that idea.
Besties.
I love that idea.
They were both at St. Agnes's then.
Yeah, St. Agnes's Daredevils.
She dropped the name, so that was like a really subtle.
Oh man,
but like if you want to tie the whole.
They mentioned St. Agnes's back in season 1, like so that's something that they knew.
And Daredevil's in Secret Wars.
Wait, like.
Well, in the comic, yeah.
Isn't everybody?
Not everybody. Not everybody.
Well,
secret or civil?
Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to say that
and civil.
As excited as we are that Daredevil's out, please don't tweet any spoilers at us.
Don't.
These guys are on the Daredevil panel.
Especially me and Jesse.
Yeah, these guys are on the Daredevil panel, and I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I haven't had the chance to watch it yet. And
I'm only 3 episodes in.
General respect for everybody. In the comments, for YouTube, iTunes, leave Daredevil out of it.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
We've been going through a special type of torture where it's like we're doing the Daredevil panel, and we want to give genuine ideas and insight into it. So
and predictions that you guys love, because that's our favorite part is when we go wild and insane with predictions. We can't do that if we binge watch.
So we haven't watched any of it. and it's driving me crazy.
And we'll fill you in at the end of the show about when and how you can watch that.
Anyway, but before we go on, we should probably give a couple shout-outs.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Many shout-outs.
So many shout-outs.
My God,
Without
you guys.
fail, you guys are amazing.
Yeah, so I don't even have time to read all of these. Like, I can't even count how many there have been in a week.
Your eyes are so big right now.
It's crazy. Like, I'll count them after because it's just insane. So thank you, Roaring Rose, Aguila 420, Stevel, Battle Girl Deb, Brown 154, Noman Snowmore, MSR 5678. D. Delferio, Senorita Shield, NF 414, Ask Mom 115, Blade Runner 2012 says perfectly nerdy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Noise.
Hello with an O.
Babylon 5 fan, Pat's Gal 54 says that we're her favorite podcast.
Yeah, and can I specifically point out Babylon 5 fan who said he'd been waiting for 30 years to see Thor on screen.
I love it.
And like that's the type of thing that gets to me because as a kid I'd been waiting to see these guys. Like I never thought I was ever gonna see Thor on screen, to be honest. Like I was like, that's too crazy. They'll never make a good movie out of it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have and made it cool is like the best thing ever. So like I'm super excited for Babylon 5 fan who's been waiting his entire life to see it. That's awesome.
It reminds me of when the first Spider-Man came out and how gleefully, joyfully happy I was in the theater opening night. But anyway, we have more shout-outs.
We have more
please.
shout-outs.
Shout out more.
Old Putt, SD Nishi. These are hard to pronounce. A lot of them are just letters. Abe Froman 21. Well done, Abe.
Yeah, nice Abe Froman.
Agents of AfterBuzz. Joyu Cuisine.
That's awesome.
J.M. Farley. Not only the best AfterBuzz show I've seen, but one of the most genuinely enjoyable post-show recaps I've
thank you.
Thank you.
Evan M120, thank you. Ping Jockey 63, thank you. Mama Little 7, it's like rooting for us to get to 400. Meme for EAS, the making of a great day listening. But you know what these got us to, guys? He's got us over 350 ratings.
Oh my God.
We met our goal.
Really quick.
Beyond.
Which means next week, it's Agents of Fedora.
Yes! I gotta go home and get my fedora. It's at my
I can't
parents'
believe
house.
I've got to wear a fedora.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Can I wear a floppy hat?
Yes. I will allow it. But we also have another one. Some people listen to the show on YouTube because they don't have iTunes. And so we actually got an email. They sent it to the AfterBuzz general email box, and it got forwarded to us. It says, "Hi, podcasters. I'm just a Marvel newbie, and I would like to say that I've only just recently caught up with the series, season 1 and 2 episodes, and accidentally found you guys on YouTube. And nope, I don't have iTunes, but I would like the opportunity to say hello to the panel. I love the show, but enjoy it more now that I'm listening to your comments and reviews, and will continue to do so each week. Just a quick comment. Love Team Fitzsimmons, but I can't wait to see Team Coulson kick butt in future episodes to come. Thank you once again for teaching me so much about the Marvel Universe. It's fun, interesting, and please include my vote for a 5 stars thumbs up. Regards, Valerie from Toronto, Canada." Thank you,
That was
Valerie.
amazing.
That's so cool.
Valerie, you're the
fact
best.
that you took time to write that to us is beyond me.
Because it means the world to our bosses when we have the iTunes ratings and reviews to be like, look, people are absolutely loving the show that we do. It's an extra step to actually go and take an email when you don't have access to iTunes.
Yeah, and it's also kind of the thing that we keep on harping about how great the show is that even if you're a Marvel newbie, it's really accessible to see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and get into the characters and kind of get introduced to this bigger world. And I'm really excited that we get to kind of help people explore that world and kind of make those connections that are maybe not as easily accessible to other people. So that's really great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm sorry to the chat roll. My computer just died.
Oh, no!
We still love you guys.
Chat roll, keep on powering through.
I had a lot of work to to do today.
Chat roll, get all your Daredevil spoilers through now.
Get them out of your system.
No, don't spoil it for other fans. It's not just about us.
Don't spoil it to others. Yeah.
I wanted to give one more shout out. Just while we're wrapping up our shout outs, I want to give one more to Saul Perez again.
Saul.
He tweeted at us with the hashtag Skye was in the same orphanage as Daredevil, but he actually had one other one. Oh, it wasn't him. It was Brandon Christopher. There's a guy at the bottom of the mountain screaming, "My cabbages!" Hashtag ABTV Shield.
Yeah, that's true.
I approve.
Yeah. That was my thought. Like, what if? I mean, maybe
gotta be something.
maybe there were no humans on that mountain, but there had to be animals.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no. How funny is that? You can't hurt anyone out here, and then the avalanche happens. My cabbages.
I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot of just people, like things.
Yeah, there could be so many animals
by
there.
an avalanche. Not to mention, like, who knows what else she could have done to that mountain.
Entire
I'm not sure
ecosystem.
what
Land an ancient civilization, hidden under that snow, and
my
now
God.
it's just ruined.
She is ruining the ecological stability of that region.
Are you saying there could be a forgotten land there?
Perhaps.
Okay.
It might even
China?
be savage.
Ooh.
Reference
okay,
city.
guys,
Dinosaurs.
we need to move on. We need to move on. Let's go ahead and talk about Gordon and Raina really quick, because we get some light shed on Raina and her ability in this episode, because a lot of this episode focused on Gordon and Raina's connection, because unlike Lincoln and Skye, they didn't come out of the Terrigenesis process
Gorgeous.
yeah, beautiful and looking like they used to. No, they're the types that they now really can't go out and about in polite society. Gordon can kind of get away with it with the sunglasses, but Raina can't go out in public probably ever again. Unless they find out some sort of cloaking mechanism for her.
I wonder if it's. There's some of the newer Inhumans have like certain things where, like, if they use their ability really strong at one point, it the physical manifestation of it like fades away for a little bit, and then it like comes back. So maybe she has some out with that.
Too bad her power isn't shape-shifting.
Yeah, no,
Like
we can't all be like Mystique.
Like we thought, I think at some point, like way early on in the series, we thought Skye maybe was a shapeshifter, right?
I think we were throwing out so many theories.
That was before me and Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was before us.
I kind of want. if I had time, I would want to go back and kind of what did we even say?
Oh, I had my insane theory that like Coulson was actually like
Captain Marvel.
I was on that for a while.
And that Skye was going to be Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh man. It was a different time.
I still think my mac and cheese theory will still hold up. But yeah, I think the Raina thing was really, again, handled really well. I think this was the best episode in which Raina was handled. I felt like the other ones, it was kind of like this weird pity party, and it was like, I mean, I just saw you kill a bunch of people. It was like, I don't feel sad for you, but like seeing her and Gordon interact, and Gordon's kind of like no nonsense, like tough love approach.
But also like tells off Lincoln, like, you don't know anything about this. Back off.
Yeah.
You have no idea what it's like.
But I got this is an awesome shout out. I have to at not a male sheep says, is anyone else's mind blown at the fact that Raina is now the real clairvoyant?
Yeah, it's true.
Oh my god!
I had not put that together, but now, whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
What a great turnaround!
That's so fantastic.
As soon
I'm
as
seriously taken aback by this.
well, because that's a huge reveal that like
is.
she has these super psychic dreams and stuff.
Yeah.
I know we were talking a little bit about whether that meant her like being
hunted
chased
by an animal.
I think that is more just like classic nightmares. Like that's like flashbacks
Classic
and like
nightmare.
just a nightmare. I don't know that that's a premonition, but
I don't
maybe.
think they would keep bringing it up if it was, though. I feel like just mentioning once that she has nightmares would be enough, but they keep mentioning it over and over again. It's a refrain with her.
And now that we know what those nightmares actually are, and now that we know that she can basically tell what's going to happen later on, I mean, you were saying, and I agree with you, that there's sort of a feeling that she's going to leave this region, this area, and she probably will be hunted after that happens.
Yeah, my thinking was that if S.H.I.E.L.D. comes in looking for Skye and finds her, damn right they're gonna hunt her down.
Yeah, they will hunt her.
And, or if the rest of the community finds out about Skye and Jiaying's relationship, then, you know, they could easily turn on Raina as well, since she's kind of in the same boat.
Oh my god, she's the clairvoyant. That is so bizarre.
That is really crazy.
Vengeance for Trip.
Well done.
Trip
Avenge Trip. No, that's a better hashtag. Avenge Trip.
Avenge Trip.
Avenge me. But okay, is there anything else you guys want to touch on with Gordon and Raina before we move on?
Just that one guy who was like, oh yeah, Gordon's just gonna drop me off at Tahiti.
It was Prague.
Or Prague. He was like, Gordon's just gonna drop me off in Prague. And I think all of us in the room were like, I want Gordon.
We all need a friend like Gordon.
I feel like it took a lot for Gordon to sort of convince Raina to open up to the fact that he wants to help her and make her feel accepted. And at the end, when she stood up and she just seemed larger than life in front of him for a little bit and she accepted it, I didn't feel like that was genuine. She has another plan up her sleeve. That's what it seemed like to me.
What's interesting, it's interesting that you bring that up because it was a very interesting way of shooting the two of them together. Because much like Andrew suggested to May that she needs to get down on her knees when talking to the little girl to get down to her level. That's what Gordon does. He kneels down to talk to Raina, and she stands up. And normally, what would happen if they were being on equal footing is that. Well, that they would be shot and it would just be a normal shot. But with the way that Raina was shot and it's a shot looking up directly at her and she's towering over Gordon, her words are like, can you teach me? But that was a very, like, power dynamic
There was a juxtaposition
motion
between her words and just the way she seemed in front of him at that moment. There was something behind that for sure.
She's gonna use the training to do something crazy.
Yeah,
maybe it's even the Inhumans chasing her.
I don't
possibly.
That's her dream.
I don't trust her. And it's not because of how she looks. Because I love porcupines. I just don't trust her.
Have you ever heard of the hedgehog's dilemma?
Yeah, that's what I'm going through right now.
Yeah, she's not in a flower dress anymore, but she's like a flower, a rose, because she's covered in thorns.
Boom!
Gotcha.
Mic drop.
Don't drop these mics.
No, these mics are very heavy.
We're running short on time, so let's go ahead and talk about the quote-unquote real S.H.I.E.L.D., or as we like to call them, faux S.H.I.E.L.D., because they're not the real S.H.I.E.L.D. A good portion of this episode is May. May is now quote-unquote kind of on Team Faux S.H.I.E.L.D. It's kind of a struggle for her because she's uncovering all these secrets about something called the Theta Protocol, which it looks like Coulson is doing exactly what quote-unquote real S.H.I.E.L.D. is afraid that he's doing, is gathering up a lot of powered people for the purposes of training them. Although, who's to say that was even for powered people? Because he was looking for all sorts of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents at the beginning of this season.
Yeah, and training them, he's probably gathering them to protect them. Like, I feel like Gordon isn't making an army. He's trying to, like, gather these people to make sure.
Coulson?
Coulson. Oh, Gordon. I don't think
for both.
I don't think Coulson's gathering an army. I think he's probably trying to protect these people and make sure that they're not out in the open until they can, really control themselves and protect people. But calling it Theta Protocol, nothing with the word protocol in it has ever been good. Like, it could be like free hamburger protocol, and it's still not a good.
I would
end with free hamburger.
There's so many different things that Theta Protocol could lead
potentially
to.
Be, yeah.
Because my first thought was Secret Avengers.
Yeah. My first thought was the Initiative.
The Initiative.
That's after the Civil War.
Right.
Like all of those training programs, like they had like basically an Avengers team in every state in the United States.
Not just like West Coast Avengers, it was California Adventures, and like
they all like names.
They had like Colorado has requested the Thunderbolts.
The Great Lakes Avengers.
Yes.
Squirrel Girl.
But
series over, Squirrel Girl is here because she'll just solve every problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like let's run through the list of what he had. He was building bases like through shell corporations and all that. He ordered 100 bunk beds.
What do you need 100 bunk beds for? So that's 200 beds total.
Yes.
Okay.
He was going around the world to buy God only knows what.
And he was covering his tracks.
And he had hired a psychologist, a.k.a. May's ex-husband.
Yeah, he had done all of this surreptitiously, and like I said, he was covering his tracks. He said he was going to London, and he'd really be somewhere else. And he was doing this all over the place so that they had to constantly cross-reference where he was every time he was recording where he was on a mission.
And once again, Bobby's drinking the new S.H.I.E.L.D. Kool-Aid. Yeah. Like, last week it seemed like she was kind of, like butting heads with new S.H.I.E.L.D. and now this week it's like she's on board with it.
Well, she even acknowledges that she doesn't think Coulson's a bad guy, but he's running it just like Fury did. This is exactly how Fury handled things. He built secret bases around the world because you never know when you're going to need a backup.
Yeah, he's the lead spy. He's the spy keeper. Like, that's your job, is to keep secrets. Well, it's so frustrating.
This is the interesting debate with New S.H.I.E.L.D. And it's because yes, you're a spy organization. But within that spy organization, is it safer to have like a board of like half a dozen people who all know like, everything, the secrets, like they know what the organization is up to, all 6 of you, not the lower downs, like you have like 6 people cleared at level 10.
But Fury would argue that if you've got 6 people, then you've got 6 opportunities for someone to learn those secrets. Instead of one person.
Fury is very much a 2 people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. That sort of thing. But
that famous children's song, apparently.
Something in the Pretty Little Liars. That's what it made me think of.
Sorry.
Guilty pleasure.
But no, and it's interesting because I really want to know if this S.H.I.E.L.D. were to become the official S.H.I.E.L.D., like if their coup d'etat succeeds and if they actually get sanctioned to be the real S.H.I.E.L.D., God forbid, how would they approach the Avengers? Would they would probably just want to take them out and like send them away, like keep them locked up, I imagine.
Yeah, they don't like coward people.
Well, that's exactly what would spark a civil war.
Listen, let's be civil.
But you're right. They don't want they would want the Avengers either on team or not involved.
But like the Hulk is a liability. Thor is an alien.
They would rather lock them all up.
Yeah, aliens just invaded Earth. Thor is an alien.
And even Captain America, they would be like, you're the first original enhanced person. We gotta lock you up because you're no better than Deathlock.
Tony's about to do something real bad.
Yeah, Tony is about to do something real bad. Spoilers.
You think his dad's bad babies were bad.
And I like that this led, I mean, if we can bleed a little into the Fitz story at the very end.
Let's do it real quick. So we're running.
I love that little Fitz bit. And just him like calling up, like opening up the Fury's treasure box, and then like just being like, "Can I hang out with you guys?"
I know I'm being tailed, but I want to hang out with you guys.
What the heck was Hunter trying to say when he was like, "All right, you in the bathroom with one of the electronic dryers?
Yeah.
All right, man, you're cool."
Is he gonna like shock the guys who are tailing him? Or?
I wonder if it's like if those things like can come off the wall and then there's like an air vent, if that's like how they work or something.
Fitz is gonna fit through
Like
that
big
tiny air
enough to go
vent.
through it.
He is very
He's
small.
a tiny. He got
Small
very
man.
slight wrists. It
He
just
probably has a laser tool that can cut the whole bigger.
it just reminded me of like when you were a little kid and you would like call your friend's house. It was before cell phones, so you just call your friend's house and be like, "Hey, can Hunter and Coulson come out to play?" Is what it reminded me of.
I can't go home right now. Can I hang out with you?
But so now we have it open.
Yeah.
Yeah, the toolbox has officially been opened, and Fitz was starting to fiddle around with a couple files.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if he's going to come across some of this stuff, or even something more nefarious by the time Coulson and Hunter get there, and he's
Yeah.
going to be like, "What the hell is this?"
Let
He's
me
going to
ask
find the
you a few
location of
questions.
all that stuff that was listed off.
Yeah.
And
Well, the toolbox
What to do with
is
it?
Fury's stuff, not necessarily Coulson's, right?
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's. Although Coulson had access to
Yeah,
it,
that's
true. You probably updated
and so
it.
yeah, he's throwing information in there. And something interesting too is that Gemma didn't admit to May that she gave Fitz the toolbox.
Yeah.
And now May is very much a we need to get that toolbox.
Yeah,
I need it
Sim's
now.
like,
She kind of dodged it. She was like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we better not
She's like,
open it.
I don't want to. I don't.
Maybe it's better if we wait. No, I need it now.
Oh my God, is that a Red Hulk?
Well, guys, I think that I think we pretty much covered everything in this episode. Do we?
That
do we have time
dinner.
for news and gossip real quick?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Because
Our
there's big
engine-
news this week.
Our engineer just gave us like the most like big shrug.
No, because the big announcement is that ABC is developing a S.H.I.E.L.D. spin-off.
Yeah, that is
Now.
a big thing.
That's huge.
That is huge.
Amazing.
I don't know if there are any details about what it's going to focus on or what it's going to entail, but we've been spitballing. Maybe they took one of our ideas.
All
Yeah.
they said was that you would see what it could be from the end of this season.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
something like the first thought is obviously Afterlife,
Yeah, like that thing, like,
like
an
just like
Inhumans.
about that
yeah.
community, but that doesn't feel right.
Well, as much as we would like to see Hunter and Bobby's spy versus spy romance, that doesn't seem to be like it would be the focus either.
No.
I think it's gonna be mac and cheese.
Maybe Deathlock solving crimes.
Deathlock would be an interesting
Deathlock,
one.
Deathlock
cool.
time agent, like just going through time.
RoboCop.
Just see him pretend to be in the Renaissance, but he's just a robot.
I mean, everyone's still talking about Sword, and I can almost guarantee you that's not what
It's
it
not gonna be
is.
Sword.
The only thing I want to bring up about that, as exciting as that is, because more Marvel television is always good.
Yeah.
The only concern, like legitimate concern I've heard about it, is that means no more Agent Carter. That a S.H.I.E.L.D. spinoff would be the nail in the coffin
Boo.
for Agent
For
Carter,
Carter.
and I want a season 2. Give it to me, Marvel.
Yeah,
Give us
that
season
show
2.
earned a season
Yeah.
2.
Yes,
It really
did.
did.
So if I want this show, I want the S.H.I.E.L.D. spinoff, but if it comes at the expense of Agent Carter, that is tragic.
I say nay,
No.
nay.
yeah.
I say nay, nay to that.
Nay.
Nay, like an inhuman horse. I say nay. Thank you, folks.
Nice.
That's as good a note as
also,
any.
if you guys weren't aware, the Avengers Ultron premiere was yesterday, and all of the cast were on Jimmy Kimmel last night, and they actually had Clark Gregg call in.
Yeah.
So go and check that out, because I think they had an encore of it tonight.
Other
funny.
news and gossip before, because I guess we're gonna have to skip predictions. We're
Yeah.
getting,
We're
get out of the
getting-
studio.
We're getting the hook.
We'll put the predictions on YouTube in the comments. Check there. But there's a rumor that I guess she hinted on there that Maria Hill could visit S.H.I.E.L.D. before the end of the season.
Here's
please.
hoping.
Let's
I
get
would
some
love to see
Colby.
Colby Smothers again.
Please.
All right, guys. That sadly does it for us. We're getting played off, so we gotta go. Jesse Klein, where can people go if they want to find out more?
Yeah, you can find me at Twitter and Instagram at JessKlein1. That's JessKlein, the number 1. You can see me around town doing live comedy here in LA.
You guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm Zach. You can follow me me on Twitter at that Zach Wilson, ThatzachWilson. And as we were talking about earlier, tomorrow night, Daredevil here at AfterBuzz. We're going to be talking about episodes 1 and 2. I think we're taping at 8:30. Every Wednesday from here on out, we'll be doing 2 episodes a week until we get through it all.
Nice.
So be sure to join us. And no spoilers.
Please, no spoilers.
All right, guys, I'm Joyce, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JAJOURI and on the Monday Night Gotham podcast here at AfterBuzz.
Nice. And I'm Megan. You can follow me on Twitter at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I'm also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I've started writing articles for the Movie Chick. Be sure to check those out because a bunch of them that I did like a couple weeks ago finally went live. Nice. So be sure to check those out. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you to everybody on the live chat. Sorry the computer died. Thank you to everybody who participated in the hashtag on Twitter. We love hearing from you guys. And thank you so much. We got to 350.
Woo!
We are going to be wearing fedoras next week, and we will see you then.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.